Um, yes, confidence. Confidence is something I never had growing up and into many, many years of my adulthood. Um, Growing up, I was very skinny. I mean, I put a lot of weight ever since. Honestly, this is a lot of weight. I was half of this, and everywhere I went, I was experiencing this shameful comments. People come and say, "Did you eat? Did you do a sandwich?" And I ate. Unlike Tracy, I actually ate everything, but I looked anorexic, although I wasn't. I just couldn't put weight on, and so those comments, constant comments, and it just put me down. So I literally had no self-esteem whatsoever. I felt like a freak, like a walking. I felt defective. That probably describes how I felt, and something was wrong with me. And I took that as a proverbial backpack with me throughout my whole life. And it didn't matter that eventually I learned how to do my hair, learned how to do makeup, how to dress better. That didn't help because deep inside I was still feeling that's the words I was saying to myself. I was not my friend whatsoever. I was my worst enemy, and truth be told, probably still am. Working on it. It's a work in progress. And I started to think, all of us probably think, what can we do? Oh, maybe my status will help me feel better about myself, be more confident, maybe if I have more money, maybe if I have better clothes, maybe if I have different face or different better body. But honestly, we all know, in theory, that it's not true. Status can change. You can lose your money. You can lose your body. You can lose your husband. You can lose your face, or arm, even a leg. It doesn't. What's inside? What's left inside? What's the identity? Do we tie it to our looks, to our status? It's really easy to lose ourselves this way. We'll lose something. So basically, a little backstory. I come from Eastern Ukraine. I'm an immigrant. I believe I still speak with an accent, although I don't speak with one. I don't think with one. But that as well also put a shadow on how I felt about myself being in a new country. It was a lot worse back at home. People were bullying me. Children at school were bullying me. Going into college, I was bullied there as well. I just couldn't wait to finish college and school. I didn't want to be there because every day I would go in and I just felt like I wanted to disappear. I didn't want to. I was hiding myself physically. During the summer month, I would wear long sleeve, long skirts, baggy clothes just to cover my body. It was hot, sweating. Imagine, July, and I had long sleeves because I was so ashamed and embarrassed of my body. And a lot of people have different problems. They always, try to look in the mirror and like, oh, I wish I could shed a couple of pounds. Oh, I would have taken them. I would rather be a little chubby, so at least I'm not this clown, But eventually I learned to actually be that clown because over time I started masking my insecurities with just being the funniest girl in the room, and I started making fun of myself. So I would be like, oh, look, I can hide behind this stick. So I would, mock myself because I was diffusing by allowing people would see that, oh, like she already made fun of herself, like it would devalue what they would try to do to me, and it wasn't hurting me anymore as much. But deep inside, that still wasn't confidence. That wasn't my true identity. It wasn't something I could hold on to and bring throughout my life. Once I moved to Canada, this is where I pursued photography as a hobby first. I had some time on my hands. I married young at 23. I have a daughter who's 14 now, so at 25 I had a daughter. I'm doing math how old I am. And I had some time on my hands. I started pursuing photography, and shortly after I realized I'm just in love with faces. I just wanted to capture faces, and particularly emotive portraits. So although I do appreciate and love all sorts of portraits, casual, sensual, fashion, beauty, all sorts, but at that point in my life I was drawn to emotive portraits. A portrait that would emit some kind of emotion, wasn't necessarily happy, smiley one, but deep, some kind of depth to it. In the years of not having any sort of confidence, of course, we all know, lack of confidence lead to people pleasing, right? Feeling small, lack mentality. I had it and I probably still have it. Again, work in progress. And essentially, I got into wrong relationship. My ex-husband, wonderful man, just wasn't for me. I didn't know myself. I didn't know my worth. I just kind of went on with the first person who was willing to accept me, right? So, oh, you like me? Oh my God, let me give you my whole world to you. So we put people on pedestal without even finding out who they are. Just, they would give me some sort of compliment and I was like, oh, okay, finally somebody accepts the defective girl that I am. And of course that's, again, not confidence. Essentially my love for photography, my passion turned into business over the course of many years. It was, again, a very long process. I know nowadays people just get a camera and next day they're a photographer, but it wasn't my experience. And I started focusing on women. My thing was transformative experience, makeover and photo shoot, where people could feel themselves like a star, a model for a day, a celebrity for a day, because I noticed people would say, I don't look like that, you know, I can't be that person, I'm too fat, I'm too poor, I'm too, whatever it is, you know, they needed to be something else in order to be in photographs, and that's not fair. Everybody deserves to be in photographs. Wherever you are in your life right now, whoever you are, whatever you look like, everybody deserves to be captured. And at the end of the day, people who have children, especially, those children will grow up and will look back at, you know, where's the photo of my mom, where's the photo of me and my mom, and they don't see the wrinkles and fat, and they just love their mom or dad just the way they are, for who they are, with that unconditional love. And of course, I would love for people to have that unconditional love towards themselves as well, through eyes of their children and through my eyes, because when I started taking photographs of people, I noted how they would walk into my studio feeling a little bit shy and insecure and putting themselves down, being just like myself, their enemy, you know, talking down. And I'm really good at uplifting people and saying, no, you're beautiful, I see it, I see everybody as beautiful, but then I would go home and talk myself down. And I realized, what am I doing? I can't help people feel confident if I'm talking to myself like that. And when people would come to me and they'll take their pictures, and then for that short moment in time, they would feel better about themselves, at least because somebody is there for them holding their hand, right? That one moment that I would like to believe means something, when somebody is their friend, when somebody is uplifting them, and maybe that will transform how they see themselves in a better, positive light, so they can come home. And maybe my hope is that that one moment will be decisive for them to say yes to an opportunity that's been knocking on their door for the longest time and they weren't feeling good enough to accept it. Or it was something when they're finally gonna say no, stop, to something that's dragging them down, something that, you know, maybe put some boundaries because they will realize they deserve better. That one moment. And going back to what I was saying, after I was married, I was divorced, then I got into a long relationship with a person who was a legitimate, grandiose narcissist. So it tells you something about me, because scientifically, narcissists are attracted to empaths and people who don't have self-value, they don't have boundaries. Narcissists will take, people will take, And it's for people who give is to know when to stop giving, because people will always start taking, will keep taking. So through that relationship, I did learn a lot. I learned a lot about myself, and I definitely learned what to not accept. And had I been a different person, had I had confidence in all those years, this probably wouldn't have happened to me. If I wasn't skinny, maybe I would feel different about myself too. But at least now I know what it's like to not feel good enough, so I can actually put myself into anybody's shoes and help them feel better and have that confidence to hopefully change their life for the better. And while doing that, I, of course, had to walk the talk. You can't just say to someone, be confident, meanwhile I'm struggling with that myself. And essentially, at the end of the day, being of service to people, helping, giving, loving on to everyone, just sharing something with everyone, just like giving them a shoulder maybe to cry on, you know, littlest things. It doesn't have to be grandiose, like here's something grand for you, I give to you. I can't do a lot, but I can always open the door for someone, you know, bring a soup to a friend who's sick. I can always call up someone and say, talk to me. So these things all of us can do, and that's something nobody can take away from us, right? So we could be maybe not the richest person, not the most beautiful person physically, in the whatever standards. There are so many standards nowadays, you can't keep up. One day you need to have a small mouth, another day you have to have a big mouth. Exactly. I'm looking forward to that trend. No eyelashes. Right? So you can't keep up. But this one thing nobody can take away from us, that service, you know, doing something good. Bringing the light, as Tracy was saying, that's just, I know I'm confident because I'm capable of serving, and that's about it. Thank you, I appreciate your attention.
What a beautiful and heart-centered speech. I feel like she just spoke from the heart the whole time. And some of the takeaways really was like, everyone deserves to be captured. I love when she said that, because it's so true. I find a lot of people out there, like they feel they're not good enough, they don't look good enough to like go take their photos, and I was in those shoes at one point, so I love that you said that. And I love how she's like, my goal is to uplift other people, and I think you guys can all feel that, eh? Yeah. And you know what? The thing that kept coming over and over, she kept saying, I am a work in progress. And aren't we all? Love that. All right, guys, we have time for 2 quick questions. Does anyone have questions, comments that you would like to say to our dear Nadezda? Yeah, did you love her speech?
Yes.
Yeah.
Loved it, yeah.
All right. Well, guys, remember, if you want to get your headshots or you want to take any types of photos, who do you need to go see?
My best.
Better.
That's confident.
Okay, so it's time for my portion of our speeches today. I have a question for you guys. Are you all cool to make this a little bit more of a workshop-y type of speech? Yeah. So that being said, I have some documents, some items that I need to be passed around. Tracy, Phil, do you mind helping me?
Phil.
And I also have some pens. So who needs a pen or who needs something to write on? Yeah? All right. So whoever needs something to write on, come and see me. And just please, if you guys could give these back at the end, I would really appreciate it. Here you go. You can write that just your leg. Yeah, I'm gonna give you your pen. Actually, here you go. Phil, do you mind passing this pen around? Who else needs something else to write on? Here you go. Is that big enough? Is that wide enough?
I love that book. I got it.
Oh, cool. Erica, do you need anything to write on? Yeah, it's right on. It's right on. You can give it to me back at the end. All right. You need And Tracy? Does anyone else need anything else to write on? I know, right?
I'm here to
have
defend.
all these
Gotta go.
clipboards.
Oh,
So, books it is. It's all about being resourceful, right? Okay, my friend. Now, what I want you guys to do is put that sheet on the ground. You don't need it right now. Does everyone have a pen? Everyone's good? Yes. Okay. It is finally time. I'm so excited to be speaking. I mean, I would speak to you guys the whole time. But I'm excited. We had such amazing speakers today, and I'm excited to kind of share a little bit more about me. You guys ready?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, you guys, you all know my name by now. My name is Tiffanie Carr. I'm a coach, a speaker, and an author. But when it comes to the coaching world, that is where, and speaking world, that's where my passion is at. So I do, like I said in the beginning, guys, when I look at a human body, here I am with Eliza, when I look at a human body, when I look at anyone, it's not just like one-dimensional, it really is holistic. And that's how I work with my client. But I take a lot of that and I go and talk about it to different corporations and companies. And I really want, my goal is to help people feel their best from the inside out. And if you guys remember, what did I say in the beginning? Right in the beginning, whoever remembers, I'll be really impressed. I said we have two what? Two,
Internal and external.
but what? What is that?
Environment.
Two environments, you guys are getting closer. Two worlds.
Worlds.
Yes. All the time. So we have our inner world and we have our outer world. And you guys, I truly, truly believe after working with so many clients over the years that it's your inner world that we need to master, right? Because it's only when we have a really empowered inner world where everything's kind of like moving and jiving that we can step up or step out into the outer world as our best. And when we step out in the outer world as our best, you guys, that's when we can start shaking and making waves.
Yes.
100%. But you see, it wasn't always like that. This person sitting in front of you, when she was young, she couldn't speak. I know, right? Now look at me, I can't stop talking. But as a little girl, I had a serious speech impediment. I mean, serious speech impediment. And that caused me to have trouble communicating, trouble making friends, and also trouble in school. And as a result, I had bullies. Who had bullies? Oh yes, I had really bad bullies. You guys, kids can be so cruel. Ooh, so mean. And during that time, my mom was my superhero because she brought me to so many different specialists, speech coaches, therapists to help me try to figure out what's going on. Where's the disconnect that's causing me not to be able to speak, causing me not even drawing. I was like not able to do circles, it was just lines. And she was like, what's up with my little girl, right? I don't want you to live like that. And during that phase of my life, when I was trying to work on this, I don't know what to call it, this part of my life, let's just say it was part of my life, I remember I was just so unhappy. I mean, as kids, all we want to do is be accepted, and we want to connect with other people. That is what kids want, and I couldn't do that. And I remember very similar to Nadezda, I felt there's so many similarities. I remember writing my books, my textbooks, I hate life, I was so sad. But you see, obviously I can talk, right? And so I was able to finally, after doing so much work, I was able to come out of that phase. And we're short of time, so I'm going to kind of give you the abbreviated version. But on the outside, you know, when I was able to finally get better grades in school, get better communication, start making friends, on the outside things looked really good. I even graduated high school with honors. So on the outside, my family, woo, you know, big sigh of relief. Okay, our daughter's doing good. Teachers were like, okay, she's doing good. But guys, there's a theme today. And that's why I keep talking about the inner world, outer world. On the outside, things look good. On the inside, no. There was like a struggle happening. I lived my life on the inside, feeling like I was not good enough. Like I was still that same stupid little girl from when I was young. And that's how I showed up in life. I showed up in life, you know, playing small, being a people pleaser, which is, I'm not gonna lie, it's like living in prison. I was reading recently that people pleasers are liars. Because they're lying to everyone around them, especially to themselves. They're not saying what they really want, they're trying to please everyone. That's was so interesting. Like, oh my gosh, that's so true. And I was also, I think the biggest thing for me at that time was that playing small, especially even though I had a good job, I was working for the Montreal Gazette, I'm from Quebec, which was really great. My whole family was like, hallelujah. But working in the Montreal Gazette, being in the state, I was showing up just like sabotaging myself. Just like every step was like, is this the right step? I like doubting myself, not being sure, and most importantly, missing out on opportunities. I mean, when you're girls your age, or I mean, I was in an office filled with wonderful ladies, but when women your age around you are getting all these amazing promotions, and you guys know what promotions mean. What does promotions mean, you guys? It's not the title, it's more what?
Recognition.
Money.
No, it's more money. More money, right? And when it's like people around you are getting promoted or getting more money, and then you're just staying where you're at, it's just, oh, gut-wrenching. So, there was one thing that was really good. See, during that time I had a best friend, and he was my angel. His name was Curtis. And Curtis was like my little cheerleader in the background. He was like, you can go do it, you can do anything. If this is not a job you want to be a speaker, go for it, go back to school. And he would send me all these emails of all these schools. And I would always tell him, yeah, I'll just do it tomorrow, I'll do it later. Yeah, I'll do it. Why do you guys think I had that attitude? Because what was happening inside world? Didn't believe in myself. If you don't believe in yourself, you're gonna take action? No way, no action. And then he was like, he kept at it, and he was just there for me. He was there, he was a true friend. He saw what I couldn't see. And he also kept telling me, you need to come to my cottage, we're gonna have so much fun. And one weekend, we spoke on the phone, he's like, I'm going to cottage with the whole family, and maybe you and I can go in like a few weeks. And I was like, yeah, we're gonna do it. 2 days later, I get the call. Guys, him, his sister, half-sister, sister's boyfriend, family friend, all perished in a fire.
Oh.
The only survivor was actually Curtis's dad, and the reason he survived was because Curtis broke a window to help him escape. But then with the flames and the CO2, he collapsed. You guys have no idea how that shook me to my core. To my core. Best friend, my cheerleader, gone. And I remember during the pain that I felt during that time, no more waiting, right? No more waiting. Because life is so fragile. Any day can be your last day, just like Curtis. During that 1 year, you guys, my outer world changed dramatically. I gave my notice at work, I moved provinces, that's why I'm here in Ontario today. I went back to school to study TV broadcasting, which is really interesting, right? Because I couldn't speak as a kid, and then my dharma, my goal was to be a speaker. And then, yeah, just everything. Left Montreal, came, and I went to London, Ontario to study at Fanshawe as a postgrad in broadcasting. And here's the one thing that I remember. I remember thinking, okay, great, I'm doing all these changes, but what matters the most is the inner world. That began the journey of yoga. I also began the journey of meditation. Learning a lot about meditation yoga because that's what grounded me. Also helped me remove myself from the chaos that was in my head. And of course, personal development. And this is where I'm going to stop my story, and I'm going to bring you guys to our theme today with my talk, which is emotional intelligence. You guys, emotional intelligence, there's many ways of saying it. You can abbreviate it to EI or EQ, but just for the sake of it, I'm going to call it moving forward EQ, okay? You guys, EQ. Who knows what emotional intelligence is? Anyone raise your hand. You guys have an idea. Emotional intelligence. What do you guys think it is, Kate?
Being able to self-regulate your emotions.
Self-regulate your emotions. Oh, yes, gold star.
That's my favorite.
I love it. Erica.
Oh, I was just saying, like, an awareness of your emotions.
100%. Anyone else wants to throw in something?
The word intuition keeps coming.
Ooh, I like intuition too. You are all on the money. You see, going back, I'm just going to take you guys back with me to a little girl. I was going through that time where I couldn't speak, but also I was also looking at parents for just guidance, which was what all kids do, right? They look at their parents when they're going through something, just looking for meaning in the world. Now, my parents were wonderful. I'm half French, Canadian, and I have half Greek, Egyptian. I know you don't see it. But my father Greek, Egyptian, and my mom French, Canadian, couldn't be more different. Two different worlds through and through. But they had one common thread between two families. That common thread was they absolutely had no emotional intelligence. Nothing. Both families. Nada. I saw drama. I saw so much. Like, oh, he did this. I'm not going to talk to him. My mom, she has a huge family, but her favorite brother, that she loved and throughout the years keeps talking about. Over one thing so silly, so stupid, money, they stopped talking for 20 years. Oh, wow. Favorite brother. And I remember over the years, she was like, my favorite brother this, my favorite brother that. And all this time, if she had, high EQ, she could have given him a call and be like, hey, favorite brother, let's stop this silliness and talk. They finally spoke at my grandfather's funeral, and I remember just seeing them with all dressed in black and tears and being sad for my grandfather, but at the same time being like, my favorite brother, my favorite sister, I'm so happy to finally see him again. I miss him. And you guys, when you start learning more about EQ, life gets really interesting. You start seeing good examples versus bad examples everywhere, especially on TV. Ooh, on those reality TV shows, I'm telling you. But here's what I'm trying to bring home. EQ is essentially this: identifying what you're feeling, managing it, and then being able to express it. Because you're going to hear me say this maybe a couple more times in my speech today, how you feel on an every single day basis is how you live your life. It's your life. How you feel is your life. If you feel sad on a daily basis, you're going to have a great life, you're going to have a sad life. You guys tell me. If you feel angry on a daily basis, anything like a tiny little thing makes you sets off and makes you angry, you're an angry life, you're going to have a good life. You guys, how you feel on a day-to-day basis is your life. And here's the thing, going through with everything I went through, learning about EQ amongst, just like Tracy, I think I can also have a PhD in coaching because I did a lot of coaching throughout my life. And my coach, Jen Groover, who's an emotional intelligence expert from the States, she would say that once you get EQ, things start falling into place. Because that's it, you guys. There's actually not Daniel Goleman, but one of my favorite authors. Daniel Goleman he's a grandfather of emotional intelligence. But these guys just wrote a book recently. It's called Emotional Intelligence 2.0. It's from Bradbury and Greaves. And they actually put emotional intelligence into a quadrant. And I'm going to explain to you guys what that is. So on a personal level, when I say personal, I'm talking about yourself. There's two things. There's your self-awareness, and then there's your self-management. So self-awareness, becoming aware of how am I feeling, right? What are my triggers, what's going on? And then self-management, making sure that you're controlling your emotions versus what?
They're controlling you.
Exactly, Tracy. Versus your emotions controlling you. Who's ever been, and maybe not you, but maybe seen someone at an event or at a party or whatever, and something set them off, and woo, you have to get out of their way because the storm was coming, right? Yeah. Do you think that they were controlling their emotions, or were their emotions controlling them? 100%. And then, so that's personal. But then there's also your interpersonal relationships, right? So on the other side, there's social. There's your social awareness and social management. Now, I'm not sure which speaker said this, but, oh yes, it was you. It was about empathy. Was it? You were talking about empathy at one point, or maybe it was Tracy. I'm not sure who was talking about empathy, but I'm huge on empathy. Who knows what empathy is?
Oh yeah, empath. I said I was an empath.
Yes.
Narcissists are attracted to
Thank
empaths.
you. You guys, empathy is what? You're putting yourself in someone else's shoes. Exactly. So empathy is pretty much synonymous with social awareness. Mm-hmm. Realizing that if someone's mean to you, rude to you, does it have anything to do with you? 90% of the time, it has nothing to do with you. Even if maybe it has a little something to do with you, it's based on their past experiences and where they're at today and their beliefs, right? They associate something and then they got mad. Whereas, and that's what's really interesting, to start putting yourself in other people's shoes. Being able to be like, okay, hold up, where is this coming from, and let's talk about it, right? Instead of being reactive and defensive and then like making it escalate from there. And that, my friends, is why I fell in love with EQ, because I was like, oh my gosh, looking at my mom, looking at my dad, looking at the family, and no one talks to anyone. What's going on? Nobody's talking to each other. So I made this decisions to not live my life like that. Made a decision to be really close to my family, really close to my brother. I tell my brother all the time, I love you. He's like, okay, I know it's you're the best brother ever. Constantly. I remind him because he is the best. But my friends, that is social awareness, right? I mean, I remember just a few weeks ago, I went to Starbucks and the barista was just rude to everyone. And people were reacting and people were talking. I'm like, what's up with that person? And when it was my turn, I was like, what can I say to her to make her feel better? I looked at her and I said, how are you doing? Are you okay? And she was just kind of like thrown off. What? Are you okay? Are you okay? Is there anything I could do for you? And it was just those words. It almost looked like she was going to cry.
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting, eh? It's trying to change the way we like deal with people, realizing that it has nothing to do with you. We're all going through our own baggage, our own background. And finally, social management, you guys. Social management, being able to lead, being able to uplift people. And you guys will hear from all our speakers today, we're talking about lifting people up, servicing people, being in service of other people. That, my friends, is social management. But I'm going to take it a step further because social management is also dealing with conflict, right? Being able to not run away from it, which was where I was at one point when I was a people pleaser. Like, don't want to make anyone be upset, let's not rock the boat, right? Conflict, and I was running away. No, it's being able to be okay with it. Being okay with not agreeing with someone. And being able to tell them in a way that is, because it's coming from such a beautiful place, coming from such a loving place, that you know the outcome's going to be okay. So, social management. Now, you guys, I kind of want to do like a kind of broad overview of what EQ is. EQ has so many different facets, but I do want to talk to you guys about 3 things to boost your EQ today. But before we dive into that, I want you guys, before you even look at your papers, to kind of, let's enrich our emotional vocabulary today. And what I want you guys to do is just give me what you think are different emotions. Because anger is very different from being dissatisfied. And when you're starting to be able to come to a place where you have a better idea of what's going on, it's going to give you better ideas of how to deal with it. Does that make sense? So, throw emotions at me, you guys. Go for it. We got what? We got happiness. What else? We got anger. What else? Sadness. What else?
Insecurity.
Ooh, insecurity, yes. What else?
Fear.
Yeah, fear's a big one. Sorry,
Jealousy.
What else?
Jealousy.
Ooh, yes. Pride.
Hate.
Ooh, hate. What else? Frustration. Now, I like that he said that because, again, is frustration the same as anger?
No.
Very distinct, right? Someone who's frustrated, they just think, oh, well, I'm just angry. No, it's different, right? There's different levels, different layers. What else, my friends? Impatient. Ooh, that's a good one. I'm going to give you guys an example in a sec. Okay, what else? Goodness. Someone who's like goodness, goodwill. Resentment. Ooh, someone who walks around with resentment. Ooh, see where them. Excited. Yep. What else, you guys?
Passionate.
Ooh, passionate. Someone who lives their life passionately. How are they when they show up?
Love.
Woo! Yes.
Audacity.
Yeah, audacity. I also like ambition, right? Someone who's really walks through life feeling really ambitious every day. Someone driven, yeah. Someone who's driven.
Superficial.
Super efficient.
Superficial.
Oh, superficial. Sorry about that. Superficial. Yep. Anything else?
Hopeless.
Hopeless. Oh, that's a good one. I have another few I want to share with you. All right. So say it again.
Hopeless.
Hopelessness. Okay. And oops, cancel. And let's see what else I have here. Oh yeah. I also have depressed. Someone who's going through life feeling really heavy. I have like feeling tired. Oh my gosh, who like feels like that? Oh, I'm so fatigued, I'm so tired. Joyful, that's a good one. All right, and anything else, you guys?
Anxiety.
Anxious, yes, who said that? Yes, 100%. Someone who's going through life feeling anxious, feeling stressed, woo.
Traumatized.
Traumatized, someone who's traumatized. Okay, anything else, you guys? I'm gonna list other ones. Some people also confidence, right? Someone who's very confident. As I'm going down here, sorry for the writing. But yeah, peaceful, someone who's calm. Calm, and someone who's also, we've got the desperate, someone who's very
Madness.
desperate. Madness. All right, you guys, you have a good list here. Does this give you a good list? Enough to do our activity? I want all of you guys to grab your paper, and I want you to come on the side with the logo at the top, okay? So come at the top with the logo. And here's what I want you guys to do. In the left column, I want you guys to write all the positive emotions you experienced this week. And in the right column, all the low vibe emotions you experienced. And I don't want to say bad emotions because I don't want to start judging emotions, right?
Or just
No, anyways, this is just to get you guys rolling, right?
Nervous.
Ooh, thank you. So on the left, and you guys totally be honest with yourselves. This is for you. I truly believe that whenever you learn something, taking action, immediate action is going to help you learn even more. And because this is self-exploration work, it is so vital.
Worried.
So, yes. Thank you. Worried. So, the left column, all the positive emotions you've experienced this week. Right column, all the low vibe emotions. What are those low vibe emotions, right? Anger, fear, sadness, feeling insecure. Maybe feeling confused, disorganized, scattered, distracted, feeling stressed, afraid, unsure, frozen, uncomfortable.
grateful.
Pardon me?
Grateful.
Ooh, yes. So what are some of these emotions, you guys? You will have 30 more seconds to finish. Don't be in your head. Remember, in your head, you stop yourself. Just write flowy. Write freely. That's what it was supposed to be. Keep going, you guys. All right, in 5, begin to finish up. 4, begin to finish up. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, now I want you guys to be honest with yourselves. Look at your list. Look at your list. Woo, I see a lot of great words from a lot of you.
I only have one.
And that's cool. That is cool. What I want you guys to do now is let's take a step further, and I want you guys to take a moment and circle the emotion that you've been feeling most of the time. What is the one emotion you've been feeling a lot of? That's going to give us a glimpse of where you're at right now. So what's been a consistent emotion you've been feeling? So if, for instance, you've been feeling sad, what does that mean, right? How have you been living your life?
Depressed.
Yes. Everyone good? You guys have all circled? Now I want to ask yourselves, again, how is this emotion affecting my life? How is this emotion affecting my life? Now if you guys have something super like high vibe, amazing. How's it been affecting your life? You're like going through life feeling so good. And remembering, I really want to bring to your attention that life is like waves, right? We all have good waves and some of the low waves, and it goes up and then it goes down. So right now, what wave are you riding? How have you been living your life? Doing a deep dive in your emotional intelligence. How have you been living these? Okay, once you're done, remember, roll the shoulders back, give you a little tick up, releasing any tension buildup. And the last portion of this is I want you guys to take a moment and write down, in fact, I'm gonna just back up for a second. Are you able to pinpoint what thoughts usually accompany this emotion? So what thoughts, and this kind of like, is connected to what Tracy was talking about, right? What thoughts has been accompanying this emotion? Because remember, guys, how you feel is your life. Now, we have 70,000 thoughts a day, you guys. And did you know that most of these thoughts are repetitive? We usually, our lives are patterns. We repeat the same patterns repetitively on a regular basis. So what I wanted to do today is kind of getting you guys really focused and clear on where you're at. What are these thoughts that have been like giving you the emotions? Because at the end, emotion is your life. Now I'm going to read you guys, everyone done? Nod your head if you are, thank you. I want to read you this quote from Daniel Goleman. Daniel Goleman, like I said, he's a pioneer in the world of emotional intelligence. He is the real deal. And he says emotions are contagious. We've all known it experientially. You know, after you have a great fun coffee date with a friend, you feel good. When you have a rude clerk in the store, you walk away feeling bad, right?
That's correct.
That's 100%. And I'm going to take this a step further. I was reading by Gabby Bernstein. She's one of my favorite authors. And Gabby Bernstein, in her book, Miracles Now, she said that you can either come in a room and uplift everyone, right? You come in a room with your great energy and everyone's just feeling it. Everyone just like is also, you're contagious. But you can also come in a room and pollute the whole room.
Yeah.
It only takes one bad apple, eh?
Yeah.
When someone comes in like, what are you gonna do? All of a sudden it just changes. The energy really changes. That is why, my friends, regulating your emotions on a constant basis is either going to be lifting you up, giving you a more high quality life, or bringing it down. So with that being said, now you guys, if you look at the back of your worksheet, there's a couple more exercises, and we're not going to have time to go through it today, sadly, because of time constraints. But I want you guys to go home and do these, okay? So if I grab Anna's page, thank you, you will see that one section is flip the script. And this is a really important one because, again, it has to do with your self-talk, what you've been saying to yourselves. And I haven't been teaching this long because I just learned it from my certification that I graduated from a few months ago. But the moment I learned it, when I've been sharing it with my clients are like, it's been incredible. The changes in my clients, incredible. Who wants to hear it? Yes. So you guys, you see, a lot of us, we say to ourselves these things that are just not lifting us up, right? So some of these things are like, oh, why am I so tired? Why is this so hard? Never gonna get better, and so on and so forth. Now, I am thinking about Friends here. Who likes Friends from the show on TV? And Ross is on, the character Ross in the show is known as being really negative, right? Really angry. And in this one show with Rachel, he's having an interaction, and Rachel has something really important to tell him. She needs to tell him that she's actually with Joey. That's towards the end. Oh, sorry guys, no bloopers. But anyway, so she wants to talk to him about something really important. And Ross is like, yeah, I'm listening. I'm really listening. And she's like, okay, well, Ross. And all of a sudden something bad happens. And Ross is like, why is this happening? Why does this always happen to me? Why do bad things always happen to good people? Rachel's like, okay, Ross, I can feel that this is not a good time to talk. And he's like, you think? So you guys, I thought that was such a beautiful example of emotional intelligence in action, right? So did you guys hear the questions? Why does this always happen to me? Why do bad things always happen to good people? And I'm sure a lot of you sometimes have that questions. Oh, why is this so hard? Oh, why is it just so hard to communicate with this person? Why is work so boring today? You know? So I learned this from my certification, and it's actually called Flip the Script. And I thought, again, so good. So instead of asking yourselves these questions so low vibe, why not ask yourselves questions that's so high energy? The ones that I love is, why does the universe always have my back? Why do such good things always work out for me? So why does life always work out for me? Why am I so lucky? Why is making money or earning money so easy? Why am I feeling so abundant today?
Why am I getting fall 3 months today?
Yeah, yes, Anna.
Oh, little things like that makes me happy, but all green.
You guys, and remember, your brain is a machine. You ask and you will receive. If you ask the right questions, you will have the right answers. If you ask the wrong questions, the brain's going to tell you. If you ask yourself, why am I so fat? Well, the brain's going to be like, you're a pig. You're doing this and this and this and this, right? Ask better questions.
So that's the power of positivity, right?
Power of positivity, yes. And it's also going a little deeper and kind of connecting with your brain and becoming friends with it. So when you're talking about best friends, yes, becoming best friends with your brain.
Oh no, it was
Jackie. Yeah, you see how smart you guys are? Yes, that's exactly it. That's just going in that right direction, that same direction, becoming friends with your brain. You see, in the 1980s, they did studies and they discovered neuroplasticity. Who knows what neuroplasticity means, right? Neuroplasticity, my friends, is your brain is plastic, meaning that it's malleable, changeable, and flexible. And you see a lot of people, a lot of my clients sometimes think that it takes forever to like make a change. Wrong, ding wrong. Guys, you can make a change like this, a snap of the finger. And I'll give you guys an example. So, there's 3 things. One, you have to be aware of what it is that you want to change. You have to be aware of your emotions. If you're someone who's always cutting someone off, maybe not so positive, right? So if someone talks to you, you're like, stop talking, I want to tell you this. It's not going to be a good communication. So you guys, number 1, be aware of your emotion. 2, what would you rather have instead as a reaction? And 3, what's the emotion you want? So be aware of the emotion, of the behavior. Second, think of yourselves, what do I want instead of this? What kind of reaction I want instead? And the feeling. Now, we're going to almost wrap up, almost done, but what I want to know is who here is an impatient driver? Yes, okay, so.
Depends. If I'm in a rush, then yes.
So I'm going to say used to be an impatient driver. And you guys, you see, I'm a teacher, I'm a coach, I'm a corporate speaker, so I'm on the road all the time. My life is on the road. And I've got people to see, places to be. So the worst is, my biggest trigger is I'm driving, and someone cuts me off. I'm like, okay, they're in a hurry, but then slows down. They slow down. And I'm like, and that's why I hear short, you guys, because I was pulling it so much. That would just drive me crazy. And then of course people that are really unsafe around me, that would also bring me from like a good mood to like an angry mood. So as time went, I realized, I don't want to be that person because 1, I could cause an accident, and 2, I could get a really bad ticket if I try to go around that person or whatever, or speed or whatever. So I used these tools. I'm like, okay, 1, I know my behavior. I'm impatient behind the wheel. 2, I want a different reaction. 3, I want a different feeling. So what I did with the different reaction is I actually started planning it. I'm not going to talk to you guys about EFT today, Emotional Freedom Technique, which is just tapping different meridian points, different pressure points. I will tell you guys this. What I do now is when I get in the car, as soon as I sit down, even before putting the key in ignition, I just start tapping right here in the clavicle, which is a pressure point, on the bone, and I just tell myself, this drive will be safe, I will be safe. This drive will be safe, I will be safe. And sometimes I even say to myself, this drive will be so fun. Everything's gonna go work out, it's gonna be great. I'm gonna be safe, it's gonna be safe. I start off with that, different reaction, right? Already setting myself that intention, and when I start my drive, it's gonna be a great drive. And then, if there's a trigger right away, I start telling myself, just for today, I choose to be patient. Because that's what I want. I want to be patient. Just for today, I will be patient. So boom, I've got my awareness. 2, I'm choosing a different reaction. And 3, I'm choosing a different feeling. Now this is really fast. It's something you guys can utilize right away as soon as you leave. Get in the car and tell yourself, it's a great drive. But you guys, that's just an example amongst so many out there on how you can make change right away and quickly. Simple, right? So simple. Some of you might be like, oh, this is dumb, I knew this already. Or maybe you guys don't vibe with it, and that's okay. I'm not here to tell you guys how to do it. I'm here to give you tools. Because I care about you guys, and I want you guys to live your lives as as EQ rock stars. And as we move now to the 3 tips on how to boost your EQ, are you guys ready for it?
Yeah.
The first one, you guys are going to stand up right away, and you're going to shake the whole body. I want you guys to look really funny when you're shaking your body. Good. Tap. Oh, yes. One more time. Tap. Yes. All right. Guys, come back into your seat. I'm going to ask Eliza, if you had someone behind door number 1 who was really angry, how would be their body? How would be their physiognomy? In your opinion, someone behind door number 1 really angry, really upset. How would they look?
Their face will be so angry, they're like maybe reddish.
Yeah, reddish.
Yeah.
What else, you guys? Someone who's really angry behind door number 1. Closed off. Maybe really tense. Yeah. Now behind door number 2, it's someone who's really happy, passionate.
Very open for sure.
Pardon me?
Very open.
Very open.
Yeah.
Reza, what else?
Smiling.
Smiling, friendly. Yes. So number 1 to boost your EQ is how are you using your body. You guys, your body. So emotion equals motion, right? And motion can be the way you're breathing, the way you're holding yourself, the way you're holding your face. Everything about the body is creating an emotion in your body. Creating an emotion within. So if you guys are feeling really, really good, change, keep what you're doing. And that means you're probably in movement, you're probably stretching, you're probably exercising, you're probably holding a nice smile on your face. If you guys are feeling really bad, tired, depressed, angry, do right away a quick little thing, change your body. Move, stretch, shake it off, go for a walk, okay? Motion equals motion, okay? This is really important. I'm gonna just give you guys a little parenthesis. They did a study in the end of 80s at U Berkeley. And you see, the scientists wanted to see if they could substitute medicine for clinically depressed people. So they took a portion of these people who were really clinically depressed. Every day was just like so hard to live. They were borderline suicidal. And they said, okay, come with us. We know you're on meds, but for the next 20 days, let's try something. Every single day for 1 month, 20 minutes, non-negotiable. You have to look yourself in the mirror and give yourself the most goofy looking grin. Like I'm talking ear to ear, smiling, like, you know, the crow's feet, really smiling, looking like, just giving that to yourself and just looking yourself in the mirror for 20 minutes a day. 20 minutes, just changing the way they're holding their face. What do you guys think happens at the end of the month?
We're gonna have a lot of wrinkles.
Happy wrinkles. Happy wrinkles.
That's hilarious.
Close, but not quite. All these people were off their meds, you guys. Off their meds, and they consider themselves cured from depression. You guys can read more about that online. You guys can go U Berkeley test 20-minute mirror test, okay? The second way to boost your EQ, you guys, second way to boost your EQ is, remember, what you focus on is your life as well. Because when you focus on, will create an emotion, and remember what we said, emotion is your life. So if you guys focus on all the things that are not working on your lives, what's gonna happen? If I start focusing on life,
It's gonna magnify.
oh my gosh, Anna, yes, it's gonna magnify. If you guys focus on why your life sucks so much, guess what? What's gonna happen? Yes, yes. But if you focus on, which was like all our speakers today were saying how they changed their focus and decided something different, right? You change your focus,
Change your life.
you change your life.
There's a book that I read. I have actually, it's called The Power of Positive Thinking by Phil Norman.
Oh my gosh, I'm reading that again. I just pulled it out.
So say it again, the power of positive thinking.
Exactly.
Okay.
The Power of Positive Thinking by Phil Norman. I had that since I was like young.
You guys go look at that book. But essentially, so that's like,
Wait, I took it out of the bottom of my book.
So
Like
you guys-
2 days ago, I'm like, still powerful.
And The Secret as well. I love The Secret.
I got
alright, we're gonna come back. We're talking about this. You guys are so good. I love that just pumped it all these ideas for books. Yes, you guys. What you focus on is going to create emotion, and emotions are life. Are you guys ready for number 3?
Yes.
Alright, and the number 3 way, the third item to boost your EQ. We looked at the way you use your body, we looked at what you focus on, and the third one, you guys, the most probably, I would say, is so important, is how you talk to yourself throughout the day. The words.
Affirmation or something.
You guys remember when I was telling you that as a kid I had the speech impediment, and then even though everything changed around me, people thought I was doing so good, but I wasn't. My inner world was still shattered. It was because of what I was saying to myself.
Yeah.
I'm not good enough, I'm still a stupid little girl. And because of the talk, right, I wasn't going for those promotions at work. What you say to yourself constantly is creating your life. And remember guys, 70,000 thoughts in a day. All right, so it's time for you to, I'm gonna grab her paper, Eliza. This last portion here is, this portion, exercise 2A, let's get really real, talk to me about your emotions. And finally, the last portion here is I want you to write all your values and then write the actions that are not aligned with your values. Just get more insight on how you've been behaving lately, okay? So that's something for you guys to do at home. On my end, I'm gonna go back to my story from when I was a little girl to when I finally did a huge change following my wonderful, beautiful friend's death. It made me realize how life is so precious. Guys, we have two worlds. Following that, I am here today being able to speak to you guys because of all the work I did. All of the work I did helped me be more confident and believe in myself. And that wasn't a coincidence, right? We have to do the work to be able to become the person we want to be. The more you work on your inner world, world, the more you guys are going to be empowered to go in the outer world and influence and inspire other people. And that's what we need more of in this world. We need people to go out there and uplift each other. I truly, truly believe that. With that being said, thank you so much, you guys. Alright, since I'm MC and speaker, I'm going to ask, does anyone have any questions for me? If you guys don't, that's really cool too. Everyone's good?
Well,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yes,
I do. I have just a hopefully a quick question. But, so the personal work, you do the work, you do the work, you do the work. You know, you can feel the changes. New neural pathways are being created in your mind.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Right?
Yes.
And then, slam, you get hit with maybe 1, maybe 2, maybe 3, like bang, 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 bang. Especially through COVID, right?
Oh my
like
gosh.
everybody collectively, energetically got it. Just hammered.
Yeah.
And so, okay, pick yourself up, brush yourself off. Those new neural pathways, gotta jump back onto them. Just keep going in the direction that you've been teaching yourself to go, that you're embracing. And then, like, your body just gives out on you, your brain gives out on you, your everything gives out on you. And you don't have the energy to pick yourself up and brush yourself off. You've done all the work. And then you have to be okay with sitting and just being and doing nothing sometimes before you can get yourself in that place to get, it's like running on a broken leg. Like, it's not gonna go very far and you're gonna cause more damage. So doing all the work is so important. Having the people to support you and edify you and, you know, help you through those hard times, fantastic. Knowing who you are, who you want to be, fantastic. But also knowing that you can't just constantly push. At some point, your body's going to say, hey, you know what? You need to take some time and absorb this. Listen to what you're telling yourself. Feel it. And then when you're ready, and then sometimes it's hard because you're scared. It's like, shit, I just did all this freaking work. It took a lot of time, a lot of energy. I don't know if I can do this again. And then days like this, when you're invited to a group of people who share like-minded ideas and stories, you're like, okay, yeah, you know what? One step at a time.
I love that comment because I think, I remember I was telling you guys at the end that it's like through waves, right? We have like high waves and then we go through low waves. And that really is, my friend, a beautiful example of what life is. Sometimes we're riding waves that we don't ever want to stop because it's just like you're thriving, you're just killing it in all areas of your life. But then boom, something happens and you got a low wave, right? And that's a perfect example of what happened with like COVID. So Serena, I hear you. And this year actually, what's been happening is my health, I'm also a fitness instructor. So I've just always been like teaching. And this year, my body's just telling me to stop because I've been getting sick a lot lately. So I hear you. Moments like this, and this is part of what I've been studying as well, is that when there's this thing called body talk, and athletes have been doing it for years. This is actually something in my head. I'm like, why didn't I teach this stuff? You know, you're gonna frustrate. You're like, I wish I learned this years ago. But body talk essentially is it's time for the day when you just ask your body, because your body's not your mind. Your body's a different like component. And you tell your body, okay, well, body, what do you want right now? What do you need? I know, right? Sounds weird, but athletes do it all the time. And they know that means they know when to rest. They know where to push. They know when they need to hydrate and do whatever to be at their best, because they're not operating here. They have to operate here, especially if they're competing and they're like in the Olympics, whatever. So this is a great little thing for you and all of us to start doing, and myself, of course, on a regular basis. What does my body need? And I've been not listening to my body for so long. There was this one year where I was teaching so many classes in a week that within 2 months, 1 month I broke a toe of my right foot, and the next month I broke a toe of my left foot. And breaking your toes, my friends, is the most painful thing in the whole world. So I hear you, Serena. In moments like this, when you need to stop, you have to listen to your body, right? You only have one, right? So thank you so much for that comment.
Thank you.
Anyone
Steph, I
else?
have a question.
Yes.
So, being Asian, right? So, especially for all people, did you say like emotional intelligence is not part of their value, right? And everything. So, how would you say that you cannot just teach them how to, because they're like old dogs cannot learn new tricks or something, right? So
Well, I love that you said this because I was having a conversation with Jackie before, and I think Serena was part of the conversation, or Erica, where you can never push coaching without someone's like consent, especially when it comes to family. Family, because you're family, they don't want to hear it from you. That's the last thing they want. They don't want you to be like coaching, and I was so bad at that. When I was learning all this stuff over the years, I was like, no, you can do this to help you with that, and she was just like, la 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 la. They just don't want to hear it. Even my brother, I'm like, Manny, do you know that you can be so much more? And he was like, I don't want to hear it because I'm a sister, I'm the daughter, whatever, right? They don't want to hear it from you. So what you can do, however, is you can edify someone else. You can edify the experts, or even people that they really look up to. That's what I've been doing with my brother, for instance. My brother, again, a wonderful person, but there's obviously, we all have something we're working on. So I'd be like, Manny, did you know that your favorite actor, that's what he does, have a lot of energy. Maybe you should do the same thing. And he was like, oh. So you see, you're trying to always get to that person where they're at. Always, always. You're not pushing your own stuff. You're trying to, like, if your goal is to help a person, number one, ask if they want. If they want to hear the advice. And second, edify someone else, especially if it's someone close to you. If it's a stranger and you're seeing someone just like really not doing so well, you can ask. Be like, hey, can I help in any way? Right? And if they say yes, then maybe you can give them your advice. But the old dog can't teach an old dog new tricks. It depends on the person. If they want to be helped, then you can absolutely change anyone at any age.
yeah.
Remember when Tracy was talking about the willingness?
No, especially the culture, right?
Yeah.
When you think of their culture, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's rude, it's not on their thing. Like, if you just go and say, hey, you have to do this, or you
Oh,
have to do
100%.
that.
And probably the way you would say it also.
That's for them, like,
Yeah.
their privacy is being invaded or something.
Yeah.
That's for Asian, that's rude, right?
Oh yeah. Oh, I hear you. I watch a lot of K-pop because my husband's Korean. So not K-pop, K-dramas. And it's so interesting to see how emotional intelligence changes with cultures.
Yeah. But it's totally different to Western culture or something.
Yeah.
It's different, really.
Yeah.
Like,
I have to agree with you. I'm a coach and I don't have Asian, I probably have only one Asian client.
Yeah.
Because they're very, very guarded into their secrets and stuff. They feel like I'm letting this person, you know what I mean? That's
Oh
what.
yes, I hear you. I see that.
Yeah, it's pretty much. Yeah, it is true. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's a certain thing that they want to keep their problems for themselves. And they're not even going into a therapy because
They won't talk because for them it's private, right?
Yeah.
It's like
and it's a cultural
it's
thing,
like
for sure.
sacred, secure. I mean, like you know what I'm saying, like they don't have to talk to or something.
Yeah. Totally. All right, guys, we're running out of time. If you guys have any other questions for me, make sure to come and see me. But before we close things off, we have a raffle. Who wants to win some stuff today? Now remember, guys, before you go home, make sure you get your little bag. All our business cards should be in here. My business card.